place. I'm doing fine, I'm feeling great. You're not my fan, you can't relate. Straight talk going, stay not safe. Before you cross me, look both ways. Leaving the scene with no trace. None in my league, you out of place. I'm not at the top, I'm outer space. Can't eat with us, we're out of place. I'm doing fine, I'm feeling great. You're not my fan, you can't relate. Straight talk going, state to state.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's your host, your boy George Mackay, and when this drops, we will be about 3 to 4 days out from New Frontier's next event, which is titled Brimstone. And it's a great title for the October event. And without further ado, let me welcome back, because he wasn't available for the last one because I guess scheduling conflicts or whatever, but Adam Haze doesn't really have a life outside of kissing Tarek's butt. But regardless of the fact, please help me welcome back my cohort in crime, the one and only Adam Haze.
I'm so happy to be back on the pre-show with you, George, mainly because this video is actually going to get views, unlike the last one. So,
actually, the last one was the highest rated one.
No way. Was it actually?
Yeah, it was.
Wow.
A lot of people like Bobby way more than they like you.
Bobby is a very stylish man. I will give him that.
He absolutely is. He is.
The man dresses for all occasions.
He does. He really does. He's got a flair for style and charisma. It's one thing you do not have.
First of all, you've seen my jackets. You've seen the outfits that I wear. That's because
fine,
I have money.
Fine, I'll give you style. I'll give you style.
Keep buying, merch from WWEshop.com to be able to.
This is not WWEshop.com. This is.
You're right. You're wearing a really bad T-shirt right now.
I know.
Let's get past that.
I know. What are you gonna do? You know what? I went in my drawer this morning. I grabbed the first T-shirt that was on top. I paid $40 for this shirt. I might as well wear it. Is what it is. Is what it is.
That's fair. That's fair.
It is what it is. I'm not going to just.
It's not as bad as my demolition one, but
Yeah, no, actually, that is a nice shirt. Too bad it's on a horrible human being. All right. Anyway, here we go. So we've got 8 matches on this incredible card tonight, and don't forget, if anyone hasn't been to a New Frontier event, this one will be a treat. It's this Friday, October 28th. Doors open up at 6:30. Ring time is 7 p.m. and it is at Spot 1 in Brampton. Fantastic venue. Really great high ceilings, great for those high flying moves that New Frontier loves to do, and
which we will get into with one of the matches later for sure.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. So again, the card is always subject to change. We don't know the layout of how it's going to go. All we know is that we got to show up. But I'm going to start off with this match because Haze and I are both big fans of tag team action, and there's no better way to kick off this pre-show than with Empire versus the Collective. That's right.
I mean.
What?
I was going to say, there's a few different ways I could start off a pre-show that's better than Empire. That's just personally me thinking about it.
Yeah, but that's
especially after
personal.
the disrespect they gave me at the last show.
Well,
but all things aside, they're going to be taking on, of course, as you were about to say, the Collective, which is, of course, going to be Sonny Z. And how do you say his name again?
Clay Wilson.
Okay, just making sure. I had to get the Wilson. Clay.
Wilson. No. You have to let it roll off the tongue. Wilson.
Like roll up the rim to win kind of deal?
All right, whatever. Yeah, fine.
Who do you got?
Well, listen, I'm a big fan of Empire. I may not like Matt Grant's attitude or their tactics, but I will say this. When Kirk and Grant come to fight, they come ready to fight. And the thing about Empire is at the last event, they unfortunately lost their Trios Championship, their PWO Trios Championship. But they bounce back hard after usually a devastating loss. So with that in mind, the Collective's got a real tall task. And let's remember, Empire is built on being a born and bred tag team, one of the best in Ontario, have won so many championships, and they're a cohesive unit. They know what each other's thinking before the other does it. They know how to get in front of the moves. They know how to dissect the ring, old school style, slice it in half, all the stuff that winning tag teams do the best. And these guys are the best, one of the best in Ontario, hands down. The Collective is new. The Collective is strong. I just don't know if Wilson can put his ego aside for the greater good. And I'm a big Wilson fan. I love Clay Wilson. I really do. But the fact is, the Collective to me is the underdogs in this match just because they don't have the history that Empire does. And for that point alone, I'm going to back Empire in this one.
That's a fair pick. And only because it looks like Freedom Wallace is not going to be at ringside for this event again. Nope. It looks like he's sending the troops to do his, do the work for the Collective for himself. I don't know how much these two are going to be able to coincide without that ring general at ringside to command the forces. But we also know Crystal Moon usually hangs around with Empire and is always that third intangible when it comes to that unit. So because of that and the experience, unfortunately, gonna have to give it to Empire.
You don't have to say unfortunately. I mean, yes, we may agree that their tactics are unbecoming, but the fact is, much like a win is a win. Doesn't matter how you do it. If you win, you win.
Both these teams are going to absolutely pull out all the everything they possibly can to be able to obtain the victory in this one. There's going to be no come on local city, let me hear you. None of these teams here are going to be here to be able to try and be here for the crowd and try to pick up the win in a professional way. No, this match is going to be simply who can be able to do the dirtiest tactic first, and they're going to get the victory. And Empire has got the experience behind them to do it. So.
Absolutely. All right. Next match, at least I'm thinking on the card, is a match, in my opinion, years in the making. Years in the making. Again, I don't know where years in the making. I don't know where it's going to land in the card, but I want to talk about this match as early as I can because I think we're both going to have some strong opinions. You've got the Canadian bad boy, Tyler Hill, no longer not allowed to deathmatch wrestle after losing to the Bloodstained Hurricane a few events back. He is going at Rip Impact. They have been on the same cards together. They have been in tag matches against each other, with each other, but they've never faced each other one-on-one, mano a mano. So this is a treat for any indie wrestling fan in Ontario to see these two finally lock it up. And this is a match that intrigues me because Tyler Hill, he's a chameleon. He can really change his style to suit his opponent. So knowing that he can't deathmatch wrestle or doesn't have a weapon to be the equalizer, he could be the X factor in this one. Rip Impact, tons of experience, has a name in this business, accolades, successful school. He's passed on knowledge to up and coming talent. But Rip Impact can still go, and he can still go harder. But as we've noticed lately, especially at New Frontier, Rip Impact is changing. There's this almost you owe me kind of attitude that I'm seeing more and more out of him. And I'm not sure what it represents or why it's happening now at this stage in his career. But I almost feel like Rip Impact wants to still show everybody that he's got it. And he does. And he wants to show everybody that he could be that top of the mountain guy and be considered for Cranio X's championship. At this point, I don't know who to pick. This is a pick 'em, as you always say whenever we do these shows. You got Tyler Hill, who, like I said, he's a chameleon. He can change to suit his opponent. But then you've got Rip Impact, who is a veteran in this game, and he's got this chip that's brewing on his shoulder. I got to think about it for a minute, but while I think about it and mull it over, what do you got?
I have the perfect answer, obviously, because it's me. And also, I already know who's going to win because if you break it down by the science, there is only one winner 9 times out of 10. That man's going to be Rip Impact.
Okay.
Rip Impact is going to win this match. And I'll tell you why. Rip Impact is a desperate man. He has lost the last couple of matches, big profile matches that he should have won against Tyler Arrow. And a lot of people think that he possibly was the odds-on favorite winning that triple threat match to become the inaugural champion. He did not do that. So he is coming in with desperate times call for desperate measures. And he knows that a guy like Tyler Hill, a man that is not allowed to deathmatch anymore, that has to play by the rules of being a professional wrestler, he's got to step inside that ring and do it with someone who does it almost better than anyone in this province. No, in this country. So Hill, you're a great guy. I'm sure that, you're going to be able to have a stellar outing here in New Frontier, and you're going to have a pretty successful career. Just tonight is not going to be your night. The epitome of professional wrestling, the hand will get raised. Rip Impact will get on his winning ways, and he's going to show everyone from one veteran to another that, respect needs to be put on his name.
I agree with everything you said, except the respect being put on your name. But I'm gonna disagree with you, and I'm gonna pick Tyler Hill in this one. Not shying anything away from Rip Impact, but like you said, he's desperate. Lost a couple high-profile matches that he should have won, or that he was the odds-on favorite to win. The fact is, I think he's lost a step in his confidence. I think he's shaken to the core, and desperation is not a trait you want to have when you're in the ring with a man who is known as the Canadian bad boy. So with that alone, I'm going to pick Hill because I think Rip Impact being inside his own head, renting space in his own head, will be his downfall. So after hearing your logical opinion, which was fair, I'm going to have to disagree based off of the points that you made, because he's desperate, and desperation is never, ever a good quality to have when going into any type of fight.
When you get back to a corner, you do a lot of, underhanded things that you're going to have to do. And Rip Impact has proven over the last several months, he has absolutely no problem doing what it needs to do to be able to score a victory. Will he get to those winning ways? We will find out this Friday at New Frontier Brimstone.
Absolutely. And moving on, another match, Lucha Libre action. New Frontier loves its Lucha Libre. The matchmaker loves Lucha Libre, and this one is fantastic. You got the year-in unmasked Reverso, Dan Paisano, going at Archangel. I love Archangel. I've been over on this guy for a long time. And Dan Reverso, El Reverso, whatever you want to call him, he's a fucking talent like nobody's ever seen before. And I feel like his debut here in New Frontier is going to be something incredibly spectacular. And with that alone, I'm going to pick Dan Paisano because I've seen this man. I know what he can do. He's a veteran in his own right, 15 plus years in this business as well. He knows how to prepare for a fight. And the great thing about him is that now that he's unmasked, we're not seeing a man that hides behind the mask. We're seeing what was always underneath the mask, and that's the makings of a fucking superstar. So I'm putting my money on Dan Paisano.
You brought up a very good point when it comes to masks and hiding behind it, because there's somebody that has also been renting space, as you said earlier, currently in Azrael's head and some of the other Lucha Libre wrestlers here in New Frontier. Of course, I'm talking about the father, Isaiah Bronson. In fact, I was told that we actually have to go to that clip. Actually, I want to dissect it a little bit from you. So I want to be able to pitch to that video right now, and let's me and you decipher it as soon as it comes back from the other side.
Hello there. Thank you for joining me and my family for a scrumptious meal. That brings me to our subject today, the luchadors. The Mexican luchadors are some of the most disgusting people I've ever met in my entire life. You see, I believe in respect. I believe in being honest about who you are. I've never lied to anybody about who I am. These are people that wear masks to conceal their identity. For what? To make believe like you're a superhero? This is real life. My children wear masks for their protection. It's not for showboating. It's because the world out there will never understand us, will never accept us. And I'm going to take those masks. And in doing so, I'm going to take their souls. There's no more hiding. There's no more hiding.
Well,
exactly.
I don't know what to say here. So while I don't know. I'm kicking it to you on this one. Go ahead.
No, I get it. And I get the fact that Isaiah is clearly, he's got something when it comes to Lucha Libre guys. You know what? I don't blame him for targeting these guys because, quite frankly, they're all a bunch of idiots in the first place wearing masks.
That's not fair. The only reason you're saying that is because you have your own internal beef with them. That's not fair. They are amazing athletes. Show them the respect they deserve. Masked up or not, they are fantastic.
I don't carry personal beef. First of all, the only thing I carry is the talent of this commentary team. Unlike you that carries the weight of this commentary team.
Listen, you want to talk about weight for a second here. You do not carry any part of the commentary team. As far as I'm concerned, other than one moronic fan on the Twitch who seems to think
I like that guy.
Yeah. Well, whatever the fact is that I've been the one who's been bringing the people back because they want to hear what I have to say. And I'm not going to target anything about your personal life because it's not worth it. I'm just going to target your lack of respect for this business, your lack of unbecoming and unprofessionalism in this business. And the fact of the matter remains is that the only reason you're still on the team is because I keep telling the matchmaker, give him one more chance. So you want to talk about carrying? Check your role, my friend, because your ego will be your undoing. Anyways, back to your point.
You're talking about undoings and their ego possibly being them. I don't see that being for a guy like Isaiah Bronson. He is a man who's calculated, who's manipulative, and he knows exactly what he's doing. He's watching from afar in this one. He's got someone that he was unmasked versus someone who is. And I'm sure he's going to be very intrigued to see the outcome of this match, given what happened the last time he stepped foot in a ring. Between the two of them, though, between Paisano and Archangel, I'm going to have to go with the experience factor on this one and have to go with Paisano.
So we agree. Perfect. As much as that video made my skin crawl, it's no worse than my skin crawls when I'm sitting next to you for 2+ hours at the commentary table.
It's the best time
match,
of your life.
It absolutely is not. Next match on the card is more tag team action. This one is filled with tag team action, and I love it. We've got more Lucha Libre action, which is, you know why Haze and Isaiah don't like Lucha Libres? Because they can't do what they can do. Yeah, Isaiah Bronson, if you're watching, you couldn't lace up these guys' boots on a Wednesday. And Haze, you'd be lucky.
Don't antagonize him.
I'm absolutely going to antagonize him. You would be lucky to even be willing to represent one of these individuals if they were to give you an opportunity. But you'll never get the opportunity. You know why? Because they have class. They're not brainwashed like Tarek. I don't know what you have on the man.
You were pitching to the next match, but go on.
Yeah, he should cut you loose. Anyways, we've got Invincible Jr. teaming up with Guerrero Saya. We've seen these two in action, and they're going up against a team that I love also well. So well. Fight or flight. That's right. Fuerza and Vertigo back together in a new Frontier ring. You already know who I'm picking because I pick him every single time we do one of these. Fuerza and Vertigo for the win. Who do you got?
I should be betting money against you at all times every time Fuerza is in the ring because this guy can't buy a victory. Legit. This guy is like the best.
Oh, don't antagonize him. Don't antagonize him.
Look, the fact of the matter is I can't take away from Fight or Flight as a team. As a unit, Vertigo and Fuerza are possibly one of the best that Ontario or Canada has ever had. And I can't deny that. And this up-and-coming team of Invisible and Guerrero, which, of course, the teacher and student mentality who know each other very, very well, I am very intrigued to see what this happens. This is going to be a barn burner. This is going to be what everyone is looking forward to the most, I'm sure, other than, of course, the Grand Championship, at least in my opinion. In this matchup, though, I'm going to have to go based on the fact that I don't know if Fuerza can be able to pull the W out for his team. And that's not saying he's not talented enough, but I just don't know because we know how good Invisible is. And I know from being at ringside, I know how good Guerrero Saya is. So because of that, I'm going to have to go with the Luchas on this one with Guerrero Saya and Invisible Jr.
Well, we'll see what happens Friday night when these four get in the ring and they make some magic happen because this one might be the one that steals the show. Next match on the card is a match that I believe that we need to hear reasons why. We need to hear why things happen at the last event. And at this point, I'm going to kick it to a promo from the one, the only, that turncoat himself. That's right, PD Skills. Check it out, guys.
So, it's come to my attention that I might owe the fans of New Frontier a little bit of an explanation for my actions at Worlds Collide. Like, why did I jump Mike Forte backstage? Why did I get myself inserted into a tag team match with Tyler Arrow just to screw him over? You know, it's really actually quite simple. This is your fault. Every single fan that turned their back on me in the strap match with Kyle, this is on you. The matchmaker that just threw me aside to move on to new toys, this is on you. You see, I did everything I could to be the good guy for you guys, and it just wasn't enough. So my solution? Take out everybody you love and adore. Now Tyler, I'm sure you're pretty mad at me. I'd be mad at me too. You probably want revenge, and listen, I want to help you out. I want to help you heal. I am the doctor after all. But to help you heal, I need you to understand where I'm coming from. So to help you out with that, on October 28th at Brimstone, I'm gonna let you walk a little bit in my shoes. Because I got you a match with that Kyle. Oh, well, why don't you just face him yourself, Skills? It's easy. New day, new show, new toys to bring. But this one's really gonna break my heart. Because at Brimstone, on October 28th, the matchmaker has brought in yet another new toy, so to speak. But this is a man that I have known more than half of my life. A man I consider family. A man that knows me and who I am and what I'm about probably more than anybody in this business. But that's what this is. Business. And in business, loyalty is limited. So October 28th, Brimstone, New Frontier, Aiden Prince. Roll up and get smoked.
I listened to him speak and I used to respect what he had to say. Now I don't. So he's
got a lot of clarity. You know what? He's got a lot of clarity. I respect the fact that he's,
of course
doing what he needs to do. What? Come
you
on.
do.
A man who's been around this business for a long time, like the both of us has, he's tired of waiting for his turn. I can respect the fact that he's trying to earn, a little bit more oomph in this company, especially in the matchmaker's eyes. What better way to do that than take out one of the fan favorites here? And that's go and target someone like Tyler Arrow and Mike Forte. Forte, who's not even at this show, so clearly he must have done his job correctly. And tonight, this show that's going to be coming up for Brimstone, he's going to be having the fight of his life against someone who I personally have never seen before, and can't wait to be able to see live. But go ahead and pitch to the match, because I know that's what you do. Go.
I loathe everything about you professionally.
I love you too.
I don't. There's no love here. There's love to hate. Anyways, PD Skills is taking on the one, the only Impact Wrestling superstar, Death Wish Aiden Prince. That's right. PD Skills may have written a check that I don't believe he can cash in this one, because he wants to show the matchmaker he's got more gumption. He wants to show the matchmaker he's got more oomph, as you put it. This is a bad idea. The matchmaker, you want to go out there and tell the matchmaker you're worth more than what he sees you as right now, or what she sees you as, or they see you as. The fact of the matter remains is that the matchmaker took PD Skills' words and he literally put him in the ring with a man whose nickname and moniker is Death Wish. This is a man, like most horror characters that we love to talk about, cannot die. I have seen Aiden Prince in some incredible brawls and fights. Whether he wins or loses, he walks out of the ring every single time. This man does 150% have a death wish. So if PD Skills plans on beating Death Wish Aiden Prince at Brimstone, all I'm going to say is he better bring holy water. He better bring an exorcist. He better bring a crucifix. He better bring whatever moniker of anything from the far beyond he believes in, if he thinks he's going to walk in there and steal one from Death Wish Aiden Prince, especially with the fact you mentioned Forte's not on the card, but Tyler Arrow is. And I could see Tyler Arrow definitely getting involved in this match in some way, shape, or form, because he is not done with PD Skills by a long shot. And for that point alone, considering also how close Aiden Prince is with Arrow and Forte, Prince is going to give a little payback on behalf of his boys, his brothers. I'm going with Aiden Prince on this one.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's all you got?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I got nothing else to say.
But you didn't even...
well, you should have guessed by the way I was talking before. It's going to have to be PD Skills. He's got everything to gain, nothing to lose in this one.
Right,
he's going to take out an Impact Wrestling superstar. He's going to look good in front of the matchmaker. We're going to
edit this part out now. I'm going to mute him because there's no point in hearing what he has to say, much like when he's sitting beside me at the commentary table. Next match on the card, speaking of Tyler Arrow, is none other than Tyler Arrow versus a man who has had a very good last half of 2022, at least in New Frontier. The last event didn't go his way when he faced someone he arguably idolizes in the Green Phantom. But other than that, Kyle has been on a hot streak here in New Frontier. His win record outshines his loss record. So for that alone, this match is going to be one heck of a fun match to call, even if I am sitting next to you. Tyler Arrow and Kyle going one-on-one for nothing but respect. Arrow's got a chip on his shoulder from the last event. That Kyle has connections with the person who he has a chip on his shoulder. If Tyler Arrow can't get his hands on PD Skills, he's definitely going to do whatever he can to hurt that Kyle. Plain and simple. PD Skills and that Kyle, they squash their stuff. They have mutual respect for one another, but the connection is there. And for that alone, if Tyler Arrow can't get his hands on PD Skills throughout the night at Brimstone, that Kyle may unfortunately pay the price. But this one for me is a pickup. I'm not really sure because, like I said, that Kyle, he's really elevated his game since I've been able to call his matches here in New Frontier. But I'm a big Tyler Arrow fan. I know what this guy can do in the ring. He is dangerous. He is probably one of the most underrated, dangerous stars we have at New Frontier with just how well he can use his body as a weapon. So for that alone in this one, I'm going to have to switch it up, though. And I'm going to say that Tyler Arrow, much like Rip Impact, maybe running off emotion and not seeing clearly, I'm going to give that Kyle the edge in this one.
Interesting. The intangible in this is what you already brought up. Is that Kyle and PD Skills, are they aligned? Do they have the same ideas? They have the same mindset? Are they as one after that bond and after that strap match that they had a couple of shows ago? Are they a cohesive team? Because quite frankly, that Kyle, if he's not, then he's just cannon fodder right now for the emotions of Tyler Arrow, as you said. I think Tyler Arrow, coming off of his victory, though, from against Rip Impact, is going to play heavily into how he is in the ring as a singles competitor moving forward here in New Frontier. And I think that Kyle is still scratching the surface of who he wants to be. So because of that, I'm going to have to go with Tyler Arrow.
Actually, I see your point, and it pains me to say that it's valid, and really don't like agreeing with you at all. Don't duh me. You make one good point in a 30-minute show and we're supposed to kiss your butt, please. Anyways, next match on the card. We've got more tag team action. We've got everybody's favorite tag team, well, especially Haze's. Valhalla Inc. That's right. We got Shaw, we got Vandercruz, and they are going at Young and Reckless. Young and Reckless, I don't know too much about, but they're intriguing. And I'm interested to see how this match goes. Out of the experience factor here, they have it. Valhalla Inc., kind of a thrown-together team over the last couple of shows. Two guys who couldn't pick a win or couldn't buy a win to save their lives singles-wise, together as a tag team have clicked and are so far undefeated as a tag team in New Frontier. So this one for me, I'm going to actually let you make your prediction on this one first because I know how much of a fan you really are of Valhalla Inc. And at the last show, they showed you how much of a fan they are of you by sticking up a whole lot of middle fingers in your direction, which is why I respect them a little bit more than I already did.
Shaw and Vander, they are brothers, apparently now. They are bonded by some oath that they have to each other to become the best they can possibly be. Blah, 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 blah. Look, I'm going to choose Valhalla Inc. to win this match. And I'll tell you why. It's only because the fact that we know that they have the chip on their shoulder. They were supposed to be in a huge high-profile matchup. Let's bring up the elephant in the room besides the fact that you are there. The big elephant in the room, of course, is the fact that Stevie Ray, who was supposed to be at the show, will not be here. Now, of course, Stevie Ray is still an old man. He's got to, work out those kinks in the elbow, get the grease going, because he realizes that he's going to be teaming
one of
with
your clients' favorite people? No. How can you insult someone who is your client? You represent. Yeah, you're talking, but you're not saying anything of relevance. You never do. All you do is
you don't let me finish,
Steve, because you annoy me to no avail. You're not talented. You have no way of telling a story properly without somehow making it about you. Don't go on the long-winded story. Everybody who watches the socials and follows the socials knows that Stevie Ray still has to get ring ready. Just be respectful of a Hall of Famer. And
I am. Hey, no, I'm respectful of that. I really am. I truthfully am.
You called him an old man that needs to work the kinks out.
Is he older than Tarek? Is he older than you? Yes, absolutely.
Is he older than your hairline? Yes.
Has he
absolutely?
Has he been in the ring in the last several years? No, he has not. Has he ever teamed with someone the level of Tarek? Absolutely not. So let's be honest and frank here. Stevie Ray here needs to be able to get ready for his big return, especially with a guy the level of Tarek. And Tarek, again, is sitting this one out. He's sipping easy because you know what? He wrestled 2 matches at the last show. He doesn't need to compete to this one. He wanted to, but let's be honest, he doesn't need to. So that's why he's not at this show. But going back to the tag match, Valhalla Inc., I'm picking them to win because they got that chip on their shoulder. They were robbed of the opportunity to lose against Tarek and Stevie Ray. And of course, they're going to come back and beat another tag team and build that momentum that they're already carrying before eventually being the team that finally loses to Harlem Heat 2.0. Okay? Or should I say the better version of Harlem Heat 2.0 and not some Booker T sucker or whoever, whatever his name is. Is it G.I. Bro? I don't remember his name. Go on. Who's your pick?
My pick is to not want to say
Nobody cares.
you, who is always and forever will be the elephant in the room. You egomaniacal, self-absorbed human being.
I got
Regardless
places to
of the
go. Come on now.
fact, places to go. You already went past your time limit. What do you got to do? Get the hair plugs filled in? I'm also going to pick Valhalla Inc. because I love them and respect them. I think they are fantastic athletes, and I think Young and Reckless, I'm intrigued to see them, but I don't know them all too well. So sometimes if you don't know door A, you got to go with what you know behind door B. So I'm going to go with Valhalla Inc. because I've seen them. They work as a cohesive unit. They really have clicked very quickly, and usually teams that click quickly like that, they have some success. Valhalla Inc. has had success being a team, not so much singles-wise, but being a team, they've had that success. They found it. And you know what? I will say this. I see the makings of probably, if the matchmaker ever green lights Tag Team Championship gold, I see these guys as being the inaugural holders of the new Frontier Tag Team Championships. That's the truth of the matter. 150%. And now moving on in the card, we have to go to probably what's going to end up being the main event. That's right. Before we do that, though, we have to go towards some words said from one of the members in this match, and that is the Bloodstained Hurricane, Jesse Amato. Check out this.
I was sitting here at home minding my own business, and I got a call from the matchmaker, but I immediately ignored it because I was eating dinner. But then immediately my wife's phone rang, and at that point I had to see what simply couldn't wait. And apparently he wants me to send some words regarding Brimstone this Friday night, my thoughts on my match with Cranio X and the new Frontier Grand Championship. Fine, you want words? I'll give you some words, but I'm not going to sit here and rant maniacally or yell wildly and incoherently into the selfie mode into my camera as if I'm masking something inside trying to flex my chest. No, instead I'll be a weirdo, as Ricky likes to say, and I'm going to speak slowly and calmly and with confidence because the world needs to understand I'm not coming to Brampton Friday night for another date on the old calendar. Because Friday night I have an opportunity at Ultimate Redemption. I have the chance to complete the proverbial full circle, so they say, by slaying this walking tyrant and demon Cranio X, which admittedly so is no easy task. But I've proven time and time again, and mark my words true, because the fact that I'm even sitting here talking to you sort of proves that I have slaved every single motherfucking demon that's ever been in my path. And Ricky, I apologize, but Cranio simply will be no different, because I've twice stepped into the ring with that big bastard, and twice that big bastard ended up with my neck in his clutches, and twice I was put to sleep and woke up with the pain in my neck that has only gotten worse day by day by day. But Richard, I think that's your real name, Richard. Fact is, twice I didn't tap, and what's probably more worrisome is twice I did what nobody before me has been able to do, not Justin Sane, not Rip Impact, not Jesse Mack, nobody. And that's be able to stagger your little beast, because I looked your demon in the eyes and I saw him experiencing one mortal emotion, and that's pain. See, Ricky, I hurt your monster, and that's the reason why I fear no deal with any devil. You could put us in a cage, you could chain us at the neck, you could make it a last man standing. Hell, you can make it death's doors for all I care. It doesn't really matter. Because you see, the wolf smells weakness, and in weakness, I smell your fear. And that's why this Friday night at Spot 1 in Brampton, son, I'm just going to slay another demon in Cranio X, and I'm going to finish my odyssey. And you know what? I'm going to make my family proud of me for once, and I'm going to hoist that grand championship high. But like that title show, the show of the title suggests, Ricky, I'm going to reduce you and Pretty Ricky Industries to nothing but brimstone. See you guys on Friday.
Wow. Jesse Amato said what he had to say. He's not holding any punches. He is not holding back at this one. This is a chance for redemption for him, and he's going all in. And he's obviously going to face none other than the new Frontier Grand Champion, Cranio X, with, I don't know, his conscience, like his Jiminy Cricket. Pretty
His
Ricky, I'm not
confidant.
sure.
You know what? That's good though. His Jiminy Cricket. That's actually his conscience. I like that.
I'm not sure exactly. Well, yeah, but a lot of people have a conscience that
His handler. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he gives them like you know when people throw fish into the Shark Tank. Maybe he gives Cranio X food before the match. I'm not sure what Ricky's role for Cranio X is, but regardless of the fact, we've seen this match before, and it fortunately did not go Jesse Amato's way. It went to the point where Jesse Amato could have been easily carried out in a stretcher if Tyler Hill, the unlikely savior, didn't come to his aid. Tyler Hill's got a match of his own that night. So how focused or how 100% he's going to be, I'm not sure. But Jesse Amato stepping back in the ring with Cranio X. I mean, do you think this is a wise decision? I mean, a lot of times your opinions mean nothing. But here now, do you think this is a wise decision?
Jesse Amato has a better chance, I think, of winning this matchup than he did the first time they won, or the first time they fought each other. 100%.
Okay, explain.
I do.
I'm interested. Explain.
Because the last time they fought, there was a 1 month difference in between one of the most brutal matches in this company's history, which was the no rope barbed wire match. Jesse was still recovering from injury, which means that he was not at 100%. Jesse Amato now has twice been in the ring with Cranio X. He has been able to see and survive longer than most people have ever been when it comes to being face to face with this monster. Jesse Amato, very unorthodox, is a man that knows how to be able to find a body part, find a weakness, take an ass kicking like Rocky Balboa, and be able to find his way to slither his way up to the top. Not calling Amato a snake. I'm just saying that he's very, deceptive when it comes to his own maneuverability, just like an actual snake. So I do think that Jesse Amato, in my opinion, as of this recording, is the best possible person to be able to beat Cranio X and become the new grand champion. Will that happen, though? I don't think so. Because Jesse Amato is still Jesse Amato. He is a man. He is a man that is broken, that is battered over the years and years that he has done to his body, physically, mentally, emotionally. He can be in the best ring shape that he's ever been in his entire life. And I have preached Jesse Amato on a personal level, on a professional level, so many times. But Cranio X, I have preached even more on this show and on that commentary booth. Cranio X is another level of destruction that I don't think that anyone else has really seen. Yeah, we've seen him manhandle guys like Justin Sane and Rip Impact in the same match. Yeah, we've seen what he did to Jesse Amato and choked the life out of him for several minutes in the mat. We've seen what he can do. But I still think that's just the surface of the brutality that this monster really has under his belt. And all it takes is Ricky just to snap his fingers and say kill, and he will do just that. Until someone proves me otherwise, just like you always go with Fuerza because of the whole devil thing or whatever, I can't pick anyone else but Cranio X in this scenario as your reigning and still defending grand champion here in New Frontier. So Brimstone could be Jesse Amato's Brimstone for his entire career, possibly his life. He knows what he's got to do. He knows the opportunity that's in front of him. It's not going to come again. I don't think this is going to be the last chance that he will ever have for a title here in New Frontier, but I think this is his last opportunity to fight Cranio in this high profile of a match. And he is going to take whatever beating he needs to get to that opportunity to win that matchup, but I just don't think it's going to be enough. Cranio X, still your grand champion here in New Frontier.
I agree with a lot of what you said. Again, unfortunately. But I have to disagree. Two things. I don't always go with Fuerza because of the devil thing. I go with Fuerza because I think he's talented. Second thing, Jesse Amato survived longer than most people, like you said. So here's what I'm going to say. Jesse Amato needs to do one thing. Eliminate Pretty Ricky. Get rid of Ricky early on in the match. Cranio doesn't have anybody to snap his fingers and say kill. Cranio's lost. Cranio's like a lost dog, or at that point becomes less of a monster because he doesn't have somebody, being a siren in his ear. Cranio needs direction. He needs to be told where to go and how to get there. Cranio, what happens when you take the leash off Cranio, but there's nobody holding the leash? That's how Jesse Amato beats Cranio X. He gets rid of the siren, Jiminy Cricket, whatever we want to call Ricky, gets rid of him. Therefore, he chops the monster out at his legs. At that point,
I'm not.
Hold on. Now I'm talking.
No. Go ahead. Go ahead.
There's no way that Cranio can beat someone if he doesn't have someone giving him the orders. Fact of the matter remains, there's this connection with him and Ricky. I'm not sure, which will eventually become undone because Ricky can only think of one person, and that's himself. Ricky wants that title for himself. At some point or time, his hunger for gold is going to get the best of him. But at this point right now, the best defense Jesse Amato has is to get rid of Ricky early. Therefore, Cranio X will be so confused like a computer virus. Get rid of the protection, which is Ricky. Get rid of the voice, which is Ricky. Jesse Amato can go in and just delete the hard drive. Straight up.
Look, you bring up a very good, valid point. And it pains me to say that. The fact that you've never been a manager and you're noticing that, especially what we saw in the last show with that tag match. Tyler Hill got rid of X and distracted him. And Cranio X, without Pretty Ricky around ringside, was gone. We didn't know what happened. We didn't know whatever. And Amato was able to capitalize on the situation and get the victory. So taking out Ricky, yeah, that maybe seems like the grand idea, for the lack of a better term, to be able to win this match. But to still get to Ricky, you got to go through the tank. This isn't a tag match. There is no Tyler Hill. He's going to be busy. We already know Rip Impact's going to beat him, all right? The fact of the matter is, Jesse Amato's got to do it. And he's got to do it one-on-one. Ricky or not at ringside, the fact of the matter is there is still a monster in his way. And Halloween's coming early. And I don't want to see if it's going to be a slaughter or if this is going to be, the damnedest fight in the history of this company's history. One thing is for sure, I am excited to be there because we're going to be able to witness history. Either we're going to see Jesse Amato lose and fail and become, just another name in the history book, or we're going to see a brand new grand champion. Either way, Brimstone is going to be amazing, and I can't wait to be there.
Absolutely. 289 Rutherford Road South in Brampton, Spot 1 Grill. Tickets still available. Get them while you can, either online at all our socials. That's New Frontier everywhere, or you can get them at the door. But the fact of the matter remains, like Haze said, history will be made. And who knows? Maybe on this night, Valhalla Inc. might be able to shut up the buffoon beside me. We'll find out. Until then, as always, I am your host, your boy, George Mackay. We will see you Friday, October 28th at Spot 1 for New Frontier Brimstone. As always, I am joined by Adam Haze, and we are done with our New Frontier prediction show for today. That's New Frontier Pro Wrestling Redefined. See you guys on Friday.
Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to tune in next week for another great episode on all available podcast platforms and hosted on Podbean. Also, check us out on YouTube at Straight Talk Wrestling, on Instagram at Straight Talk Wrestling, on Facebook at Straight Talk Wrestling, and on Twitter at _Straight Talk. And if you feel the need to buy some sweet merch, check us out on ProWrestlingTees.com.
Leaving the scene with no trace, not in my league. You out of place. I'm not at the top. I'm outer space. Can't eat with us. We're out of place. I'm doing fine. I'm feeling great. You're not my fan. You can't relate. Straight talk going.